So I'm Marie-José Montpetit. I am a researcher in the Research Lab of Electronics here at MIT, and I work with Professor Muriel Medard in the Reliable Communication and Network Coding group. People may think why I'm doing this, because I'm well known for, I would say, video applications and convergence and social television. And the reason is that through the years that I spent in industry, actually I spent most of my career in industry, one of the things that you have is you develop a lot of prototypes and you develop a lot of systems, but you never have the real strong analytical academic research that you need to get these things in the real world in a way. So I know that if you Google me, I'm extremely well known for social television. People call me the matriarch of social televisions, which I don't really like because I don't think I'm old enough. But social television was an extremely good example of something that we did with convergence. So convergence in that case meaning when you start having a service moving across networks, across devices, and across boundaries that were set before in terms of how television systems were established, for example. So if we start moving that around, a lot of the demos that you see right now and a lot of the hype around it, you can think that all these things are made in a single network, a lot of time using a single type of devices, and thinking that the browser is going to solve everything. Well, actually, if you start moving that in a real network, there's going to be network impairments that are going to have a problem or create problems for you in terms of keeping things synchronized, for example. You're going to have one device that's going to have a really, really good experience while another one has a really poor experience. Because somebody is in one country and another person is in another country, if you want to have a communal viewing, which is really much how I call social television now, if you want that communal experience, you have to find ways of these networks to be compatible and talk together. So this actually is the reason that the work that we do in Muriel's group is very interesting, to create actually the network that will allow these experiences to be deployed. And we're moving away from just like television, we're moving away with it, we're talking now content, because there's also a huge move in the internet industry towards what they call content-centric networking, in the sense that you look for the content to know how to set up your network, essentially. What we're thinking now is we're moving away from the social television into content, but also into thinking that social connectivity doesn't mean physical connectivity. And if we want to have these communal content dissemination or content viewing or content consumption together, we have to redefine the way the network connectivity is done. And so if we want to have radical new services, maybe we need to radically think again how networks are working. And this is what we do in Muriel's group, as actually with technologies that she developed way before I joined her group, called network coding, which allows us to consider that the bits that go in the internet are not just meaningless, they're actually algebraic entities, and we can do things for them. And because of that, it allows us to change the places where we want to cache the data, allows us to improve the way the data is transmitted, it allows us to define new ways of encrypting the data. And actually this is another thing that is very important and that people have not really looked into in all this social consumption of content, is that there are commenting or comments or extra features that I would like to have, because all of us are friends right now, and I don't want you guys to know what I'm thinking about this and that programming or this and that content, but I may not want everybody to read them and to see them. And while in, I would say, commenting on newspaper and the internet, people don't seem to really mind of putting comments out there. But television and content, and the content, especially video content, but books and pictures are much more personal. And you're going to probably have a personal, again, agenda about why you want to put your comments on there, and you may not want everybody to look at it. And you may not be also interested in the comments of people that you don't know. And so we've been working with, actually, industrial partner into developing a way to allow commenting and through the social connectivity to be independent of the actual physical connectivity. So we know that all these things are connected, they all share some viewing experience, but pieces of the content or pieces of the commenting are only shared by a subset of these people. And again, this is part of the networking work that we're doing. So what we're doing is, yes, looking at multiple networks, multiple devices, social connectivity to replace a little bit the way we find where the nodes are, moving into content-centric networking, and yes, redefining a lot how the content and other data is disseminated in the internet. I'm very blessed that I've been collaborating to a class here at MIT. I give a class jointly with people at the Media Lab, Henry Holtzman. And in our class, we've had projects from students. And one of the things that we have insisted on is that it didn't have to be live. Some people prefer it to be live, but again, if we want to have in our mind that maybe the ultimate social consumption of content through a network is international, there's a big chance that people are not going to be all watching at the same time. You know, there's only a few events in the world, including the Olympics actually, where people want to see it live, but a lot of times, you know, you may see it 3 hours later because you live on the Pacific. So one of the things that you can do is, again, by using information in the stream to add information or add commenting or add some of the information that you would like to share inside the stream. So when your other viewing partner is going to see it, those comments will be there. And it can actually, one of the first projects that was done, I was still in industry then, in collaboration with MIT, was that we were using Facebook to record things on somebody's DVR. And we could actually leave a rating there. So I recorded it on your DVR because you're my friend and I know you're going to like it. So it didn't have to be real time.